Hey guys, it's Narkbite here, just giving you a quick guide on how to kill demonic gorillas better. So the point of this is to be a very quick guide on strategies during combat. It's not an inventory setup or a gear setup. There are other people on YouTube that cover that far more in depth and probably can do it a lot better than I can. This is just for you guys to stop or to not take as much damage at demonic gorillas when you're in the middle of KC. The first tip that I would say is, first and foremost, use the runelite client. They have a little kind of help and a cheat sheet on demonic gorillas while you're killing them. I would just recommend runelite alt in general for RuneScape, since it's it's free and it hits a lot of stuff for you. So the two most important things that you need to pay attention to during your trips is prayers and offensive forms. And the reason I'm talking about these is to point out that you can mitigate all the damage from demonic gorillas except for their first attack and whenever they're switching off of their melee form, because they're switching into range or mage, but there's no way to tell which of those two it is. I guess another second tip for you would be to bind your keys to, or bind your inventory and prayer to your F keys. This makes it so that it's far easier to switch prayers and weapons, which you will be doing a lot of, since every 3 attacks they'll be switching their defensive prayers and pretty much vice versa. So with that said, we're going to just hop right into it. I'm also going to show how to kill these things without the runelite client, just for people who don't want to download a different client or they're playing vanilla or anything like that. So normally where you want to toss up an offensive prayer when you're running past those tortured gorillas, I just didn't do it because I'm lazy. And then for the attacks where you don't know which one it's going to be, I always go mage just because their mage attack does the most damage and it's the most consistent. So whenever it's their first attack and when they're switching off their melee form, not only do I do that because of that, but also if you do it the same way each and every time, you're at the very least mitigating 50% of the damage rather than trying to hop between the two and try and guess. And with that, I will go into the kill. Normally I would pot up, but because I'm only going to be killing like 3 of these guys to show you how it goes, I'm not going to do that. So, right there, we don't know which one it's going to be. Sorry. Yeah. Switch to range, and it's melee. So the thing that you probably just saw there, if you didn't already, was when I was in my range form, I made sure to be 2 blocks away from the gorilla. Because what happens when you're attacking them is if you're standing 2 blocks away and they're on their mage or their range form, once their third attack is done, they are going to switch either to their other major range or melee. And when they do that, if it's magic, like they just did right there, they're going to stand in the same spot. But if it's melee, they're going to try and close that distance and move towards you to melee you. Runelite tracks that automatically and will display the overhead attack form for you. So that's why Runelite is very helpful in this scenario, because it will just automatically do it for you. If you're not using the Runelite client, this is where you're going to need to pay attention. Sometimes the demonic gorillas will stall out, whether it be because of like a tick or getting stuck or in the middle of an attack. Sometimes you won't be able to tell until they're finished with whatever animation they're doing. Let me get into one more kill here. Oh, just eat something real quick. Because what I'm going to show you next is with melee, if I get the chance. Once he switches his prayer over to, or his protected prayer over to melee, we're just going to pretend for the purpose of this video like he's not in protect melee. So once this third attack is done, what we're going to do is immediately click over 2 spaces away from him so that the offensive prayer will show, or Runelite will display the new offensive form that he's taking. That's just like a little quick tip for you guys to kind of not cheese the gorillas, but really make it so you're not taking nearly as much damage. So yeah, that's the quick tip guide. If you need anything else, just leave it in the comments and I'll try and get back to you. See ya.